Hello, my fiery friends. Welcome to another awesome and fiery fun stream. I'm your host, the Infernoman here, and hopefully having a wonderful night wherever you are at. So, after 1 hour of struggling to get the internet to work, we finally managed to get the stream off. So hopefully it should be stable enough to at least maintain just long enough to do our fun final deck revolving around Avatar: The Last Airbender. But what deck are we playing this evening? Well, I'm glad you asked. So without further ado, let's just jump into it right now and show you exactly what we're going to be playing for tonight. Where am I at? Oop, there I am. Yay! Okay. So without further ado, join me today in the Brawl format because we of course have to take the star of the show himself into his own deck that we have yet to do. So this is going to be, of course, a 4-color, well, technically 5-color, but you get the idea. It is Avatar Aang in his own budget deck for tonight. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. And for those of you that don't know how this works, we're going to break it down for you here and now. It's going to be primarily talking about the stats of the deck briefly. We'll go over every single card in the deck itself. Then we'll play as many matches as we can on a budget in the Brawl format. And then we'll play the deck upgraded if you're interested in taking this deck to the next level. So let's get started with the stats of the deck, because long-time viewers of the channel know how we do it. We have to talk about the stats of the deck before we dive right in. So Avatar Aang here is going to be 5 colors, primarily 4-color with a tiny splash of black. Average mana curve is going to be about 2.6, and we'll be rocking a total of 23 creatures in the deck. We have 14 instants, 6 sorceries, 4 artifacts, 12 enchantments, and 40 lands. Whew, okay, so Avatar Aang himself is actually pretty baller for what he is capable of doing. So Avatar Aang here, and he can flip into the Master of Elements, which we'll talk about in just a second. But otherwise, he is a human avatar ally. He has flying, and he has fire bending of 2, and he's a 4/4. Anytime we water bend, earth bend, firebend, or airbend, you can draw a card. Then, if you've done all 4 in one turn, you can transform it into the Master of the Elements, which becomes a 6/6 flying avatar ally. And then on top of that, spells you cast cost Wooburg less to cast, and at the beginning of each upkeep, you may transform Aang Master of Elements. If you do, you will gain 4 life, draw 4 cards, put 4 +1/+1 counters on him, and he'll deal 4 damage to each opponent. That is incredibly ridiculous if you can manage to flip him. Now, obviously, I don't intend on actually flipping him. Just the main side itself already gets you pure value as long as you can at least get one of these effects to go off. And because he already has firebending attached to him, you'll always guarantee to get a card anytime you attack with Aang. So, otherwise the remainder of the deck, and to keep this gimmicky and within budget range, we actually decided to craft this deck in a specific way. Every card that you see in this deck right here can be obtained from just the Avatar set on its own. So you can actually put together a full Avatar Aang deck without having to invest much else, unless if you just want to do Avatar cards themselves. So that's kind of where we're going to go with this. It is also on a budget, so every card in here will keep you at least under $100. I think the deck is right now sitting at, was it like 65, 70 bucks? I don't know. The number fluctuates a bit. But the point I'm trying to make though is it is very, very affordable wherever you want to play, whether it's here in Arena or if you want to play over on paper itself. So now let's cover, of course, every single card in the deck itself, starting, of course, in the top. Aang's defense here. Instant speed, blocking creature you control will get +2/+2, and you get to draw a card. Curious farm animals here is a boar, elk, bird, and ox. That's cute. It actually has 4 types. That's a lot of types, by the way. When it dies, you gain 3 life. However, you can sacrifice this at instant speed to destroy a target artifact or enchantment. Earth Kingdom Protectors here. You can sacrifice this at instant speed to give this give another ally creature you control indestructible until end of turn. So it's a nice protection spell for Aang or any one of our creatures. We also have your more protection and enter the avatar state. Until end of turn, target creature you control becomes an avatar in addition to its other types, gaining flying, first strike, lifelink, and hexproof for protection. Momo Playful Pet here. Of course, we had to throw in, of course, Aang's ever so wonderful companion here. Momo, here's a lemur bat ally, flying, 1/1, flying vigilance, and when he leaves the battlefield, you get to put a food token. Put a +1/+1 counter on a creature you control, or scry 2. Kankuro Chi, wait, no, I'm sorry, I'll say this again. What's it? It's Kankuro King Chi? Teach me your ways, Jank Master. Well, thanks again for joining us, and thanks again for your follow from last week. How you doing this evening? Hopefully having a wonderful week wherever you're at. Teach you your ways? Well, if you just follow along here, we'll show you, of course, how we can put together something that's kind of janky, but hopefully it'll be something fun we can do. And hopefully we can get a couple of fun wins with this as well. Going on over the rest of the deck tech here, we also have Yip Yip. So, gotta have, of course, the way we can summon Appa here. Target creature you control will also get a +2/+2 until end of turn. If the creature is an ally, it gains flying as well. Boomerang Basics allows us to bounce back a non-land permanent to its owner's hand, and as long as we control that permanent, we can draw a card. We have, of course, Gran herself here. Of course, an awesome legendary creature, Human Peasant Ally. She's a 1/2 here, and anytime she becomes tapped, draw a card and discard a card. So she can be a great way to help churn through our deck, and non-creature spells will cast 1 less to cast as long as there are 3 or more lesson cards in the graveyard. Thankfully, with this deck, you can easily push in a ton of lesson cards into the graveyard very quickly, so she can trigger pretty quick. Octopus form here is also an instant lesson, which can give one of our creatures hexproof until end of turn, and also get this +1/+1 pump, and you can untap the creature. Firebending lesson is going to be for spot removal here. Dealing 2 damage to a creature, you can kick it for additional cost of 4 to deal 5 damage to a creature instead. Many partings here allows us to dig out a basic land for ramping, and then also we can create a food token. Seismic Sense is going to be here to help us dig X amount of cards deep into our library and pull out what X is the number of lands we control. Then you can pull out a creature or land card and put them into our hand. So that's mostly going to help us, again, just dig for what we will need. In the 2-drop slot here, we have Airbender Ascension, so one of our rares in the deck. When it enters, you can airbend up to 1 target creature. Whenever a creature you control enters, put a quest counter on the enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, if this enchantment has 4 quest counters or more, you can start using this to start blinking stuff back and forth. So this will be helpful for us to kind of start getting more triggers off as the game progresses. Airbender's Ascension here can either just destroy a target attacking creature, or you can airbend a creature we control to protect it. Compassionate Healer here, anytime this becomes tapped, gain 1 life and scry 1. Invasion Reinforcements here. When this enters, it has flash. It can create another 1/1 white ally creature token when it enters the battlefield. Kindly Customer here is going to be nice because for this one here, when this creature enters, just simply draw a card. Path to Redemption here. This is an enchantment aura. Anytime you put this onto a creature, it cannot attack or it cannot block. So we can kind of push things out of the way and make sure that if maybe we don't want to destroy something, this could be something that will just kind of get something out of the way while we get to do our thing. We have Accumulate Wisdom here, digging 3 cards deep and putting one of those cards into our hand and to the bottom of our library for the rest of the cards. However, if we have 3 or more lesson cards in our graveyard, we can put all the cards into our hand. If you have this out with Gran, that's literally going to be 3 cards for 1 mana. That's like great value. Edo Quenja here. Oh, I always love this card right here just because I love the flavor on this with Sokka here. Basically, it's your counter spell here. Unless you're an opponent, control, they pay the 2 cost. Waterbending Scroll here is also nice because you can draw a card with it. However, it will become cheaper and cheaper for each island we control. Heartless Act here, one of our few black cards in the deck which can destroy a target creature. Combustion Technique, dealing 2 damage plus the number of lesson cards in your graveyard to a creature, and also if it gets damaged enough, we can exile it on top of that. So this can be great for removal late into the game. Iroh's Demonstration here is really sweet for our deck here, dealing 1 point of damage to each creature an opponent controls, or 4 damage to 1 single creature. Great Divide Guide here is going to help us, of course, make sure that all of our allies and lands can be tapped for any mana, so perfect for fixing as the game progresses. Haru Hidden Talent here, so Human Peasant Ally, legendary creature. Anytime another ally we control enters, we can Earthbend for 1. That'll be really great for us as we continually go through the game. We can fill up the board with more creature lands, and the the Earthbending we have will of course trigger off Aang himself. Leaves from the Vine, so mill 3 cards for part 1 of the saga. Part 2 of the saga, put +1/+1 counters on 2 target creatures we control, and then part 3 of the saga draws a card if we have a creature or lesson card in the graveyard. Origins of Metal Bending is going to be here for Artifact and Enchantment Hate, or you can put a +1/+1 counter on a creature and give it protection with Indestructible. Rackus Audience here. Okay, I'm pretty sure and I don't mean to kind of interject here for a second, but this is, of course, has to be, this is the meme, right? This is that meme with the guys that are like super excited shouting in the background, right? Am I right? Someone correct me on that if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm right on that one. But in any case, going back to the card, this is going to be one of our mana dorks. If we control a creature with power 4 or greater, we could tap it for 2 forests, or at least 1 at the very least. Shared Roots here is going to be a lesson card for us to sorcery speed, digging out a basic land and just putting it onto the battlefield. Abandoned Attachments allows us to discard a card, and if we do, draw 2 cards. Urbanic Herbalist here is a 2/3 human druid ally, so another mana dork for us. You can also add 2 mana of any color combination, only if we cast a lesson spell. Actually, if we use this for a lesson spell specifically. My mistake. Aang's Journey, here's a lesson here that allows us to then dig out a basic land. You can kick it for 2, but that mostly is just to dig out a shrine. And for Aang's deck here, we're actually not going to be using shrines, so we'll just kind of keep this simple. In the 3-drop slot here, we have Airbending Lesson to airbend a non-land permanent, and then we can draw a card. Glider Staff here, when it enters, also can allow us to airbend a target creature, and then we can give this onto any one of our creatures to give it flying and +1/+1. Team Avatar here is great with Aang if he's attacking alone. Anytime a creature attacks alone, it'll get +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures we control. For 3 mana, you can discard this card and deal damage equal to the number of creatures you control to target creature. So this will be a nice way to kind of be spot removal in a pinch. Suki Courageous Rescuer here. So good old Suki here helping us out by giving all of our creatures +1/+0. She's a human warrior ally, and anytime another permanent we control leaves the battlefield during our turn, we create a 1/1 white ally creature token. The only downside to Suki is, dang, her ability only goes off once, but I guess that's to make sure it doesn't get too out of control. Invasion Submersible here is a 3-mana vehicle here. It's a 0/0. When it enters, you can bounce back a non-land permanent to its owner's hand, and if you exhaust it by waterbending 3 and paying 3, this vehicle becomes an artifact creature and put 3 +1/+1 counters on it. Bastard of Remembrance here. So this is a mono black enchantment, and it says you can add in a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. Anytime, of course, a creature we control dies, we can drain our opponent for 1, and we can gain 1 life. Founding of Amashu here. This saga allows us to create 2 ally creature tokens. Part 2 allows us to discard a card and draw a card. And then Part 3 gives all of our creatures +1/+0 until end of turn. So a great Anthem effect to finish off our opponents. Speaking of finishing off our opponent, we can also use here instant speed, how to start a riot. So this instant lesson here allows us to give one of our creatures menace until end of turn. And then creatures our target player controls get +2/+2/0 until end of turn. We're also, of course, going to use the other forms of Aang here. So this version will have Aang, Swift Savior. So this is an Azorius Aang. So 3 mana, 2/3 human avatar ally with flash and flying. When Aang enters, you can airbend up to 1 other target creature or spell. If you can waterbend him, which might take a little bit much out of us, but if you can pull it off, we can give Aang a flip into becoming Aang and Law, Ocean's Fury. If this version of Aang attacks, you can put a +1/+1 counter on each target, on each tapped creature we control. This is, again, another way to kind of pump up our whole game plan. Bitter Work here is going to be a Gruel enchantment. Anytime we attack with a player of 1 or more creatures with power 4 or greater, we can just draw a card. You can also exhaust 4 and earthbend 4 to then create one of our creatures that technically will help us kind of work itself and trigger this off. White Lotus Reinforcements here. Human Soldier Ally, giving all of our allies an extra +1/+1 pump, so a great Anthem effect. Katara the Fearless here, a 3-mana Bant 3/3 human warrior ally. If a triggered ability of an ally we control enters, we get to get an additional trigger. So she can help us just double up our stuff here. Katara is so good with ETB in our deck. We also use Bender's Waterskin here. So one of our cheap little mana rocks here, it is 3 mana. You can tap it, of course, to add 1 mana of any color, but what's sweet about it is at the beginning of each player's untap step, you can untap this. So sometimes you get a little free extra land, or at least free extra mana when we need it. This is, of course, now we're going to get some of our more infamous buddies in the deck. We have, of course, this version of Aang, the simple version, Aang the Last Airbender. 4 mana, 3/2 human avatar ally, flying. When this version of Aang enters, airbend up to 1 target non-land permanent. Whenever we cast a lesson spell, this version of Aang will gain lifelink until end of turn. Yue the Moon Spirit. We played actually Yue last week, so she's a great card and a very powerful one even on her own. But in this deck, of course, we want her, of course, to take advantage of the waterbending ability. So for this one, she's a spirit ally, if you've forgotten, 3/3, flying in vigilance with waterbend 5 and tapping her. By doing so, we can cast a spell for free as long as it's a non-creature spell. Legend of Kurik here was going to be one of our... Oh, Rowan Helve. Hello, and good evening, my fire friend. How are you doing tonight? Hopefully having a wonderful night wherever you're at. You're just in the middle of us, of course, kind of covering all of our cards for this deck, and we will be playing, of course, as soon as we get done with this. So I'm almost done, everybody, and don't worry, we'll be playing soon. With Legend of Kurik here is going to be one of our saga cards. We had to throw this in here for flavor and theme purposes. So this version is going to be the former waterbending avatar here. For the first 2 parts, scry 2, draw a card. Part 3 allows you to exile and flip him into Avatar Kurik here, becoming Avatar with 4/3. Anytime we cast a spell, create a 1/1 white colorless spirit creature token that can only be blocked or is unblockable unless you have spirit creatures to do with it. Also, its exhausted ability has waterbend. What is that? 20? Well, I don't think we're going to get that off. But if we do, you basically get to do an extra turn at least once. If you can do that, you're pretty much going to win, guaranteed. I really will be surprised if you actually do not win if you ever exhaust with waterbend in this. Let's see here. Rowan, hey, I didn't know there was an Avatar Last Airbender card game thing. I'm doing pretty good. Well, that's good to hear. So to kind of clarify, and for those of you that are unaware, this actually version is still playing, of course, we're playing Magic the Gathering still, Rowan. But this version, this set actually made a crossover, so we have an Avatar-themed version of Magic cards. And it's actually a pretty good set and pretty fun, too. So the gimmick with this one tonight is, as I mentioned this earlier, for those of you that didn't hear me, this version can be built completely with only the cards from the Avatar set. So you don't have to buy any extra cards from other Magic sets. You can literally put this together with everything that came from the Avatar set, which is pretty neat, and it actually is on budget. Now, continuing on, we got to, of course, talk about the Cave of Two Lovers here. So, Cave of Two Lovers, another saga, creating 2 ally creature tokens. Part 2 allows us to dig out a mountain or cave card, and then Part 3, we can earthbend for 3. Legend of Roku here, one of my favorite ones, by the way. Part 1, exile the top 3 cards of your library, and until the end of your next turn, you can play those cards. Part 2, add 1 mana of any color, and then Part 3, you exile it and flip it into Avatar Roku here. Legendary Avatar creature here with Firebending 4, a 4/4, and for 8 mana, you can create a 4/4 Red Dragon creature token with Firebending 4. That's actually a really cool ability if you can make it go off. We also have, of course, Guru Pathik here. So Aang met this person on his journey when he was trying to reach enlightenment to enter the Avatar state, for those that have forgotten. Human Monk ally here. He's Simic, 2/4. When Guru enters, you can dig 5 cards deep out of your library, revealing a lesson, saga, or shrine card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest onto your bottom of your library in a random order. Anytime you cast a lesson, saga, or shrine spell, put a +1/+1 counter on a creature we control. So he'll help us pump up our game plan as we keep going on. But of course, we had to throw in the remainder of Aang's buddies here. So we're going to throw in across Toph, the first metal bender here. So she's going to be a 4 mana, 3/3 human warrior ally. Non-token artifacts, of course, here are lands in addition to their other types. At the beginning of your end step, you can earthbend 2. We don't have actually too many artifacts in the deck, but that's okay because we just literally want her here because she is part of the Aang gang. So of course we said, why not? Got to throw in Toph, of course. Can't have the Aang gang without Toph. Rowan, oh, that sounds pretty good. Oh, yes. What is that? Secret Tunnel? Yes. Secret Tunnel. Secret Tunnel. Ah, yes. I still remember that. Do we have Secret Tunnel in the... Oh, actually, it's not in the budget version, but it is in the upgraded version. But we'll talk about that, of course, later on in the stream. Official Koya. Hello, my fire friend. How are you doing this evening? Hope you're having a wonderful night wherever you're at. And thanks again for joining us tonight. Very curious to see how this commander plays. I've actually never gone against the Aang in Brawl, surprisingly. Really? That's actually surprising. Actually, in all the times I've been testing, I've faced off against a lot of Aang decks. All kinds. We're talking about the jank ones like mine, and we've seen some very scary, high-powered versions of Aang. But I can at least say, Aang is definitely a fun commander if you actually really want to build around him. Where was I at? Oh, yes. Let's wrap this up, everybody, because I actually do want to get to gameplay tonight. So, continuing on, we also have to throw in Sokka, Tenacious Tactician. And for those that don't remember, if you look at my other previous streams, we have actually done at least one deck tech on each of part of Aang's gang, with the exception, I think, of... I think I didn't get around to... Wait. Oh, that's right. I didn't get around to a Katara deck. But don't worry. She will be coming at some point. We won't forget you, Katara. We will, of course, circle back around to her at a later point this year. But until then, we did do a deck on Sokka, Tenacious Tactician, and we've also done a deck specifically on Toph herself. But for Sokka specifically in our deck, he has Menace and Prowess, Human Warrior Ally Legendary Creature 3/3. Other allies we control have Menace and Prowess, so he will pump up the team every time we cast non-creature spells and creating for us white ally creature tokens. So he's actually very, very powerful even on his own, but of course he definitely is even better with Aang on board. Going into the 5-drop slot, we have the Legend of Yang Chen. So this was the avatar prior to Aang himself. For this version here, starting with you, each player chooses up to 1 permanent with a mana value of 3 or greater, and they exile those permanents. So we can slowly get some big stuff out of the way with this card. And then part 2, you may have target opponent draw 3 cards. If you do, you will draw 3 cards. This honestly doesn't work too well for us, at least in one-on-one. But in actual commander with you have 4 players, this is a much better card because you can kind of use this in a political way by giving someone 3 cards and then you can draw 3 cards. Finally, flip Avatar Yang Chen into her final form, becoming a 4/5 Avatar legendary creature with flying. Anytime we cast a second spell each turn, you can then basically airbend up to 1 other non-land permanent. Very, very powerful even on her own here, but she is pretty good overall. Also love the art, by the way. Very amazing art, very beautiful. We also, of course, Aang's good old friend here, Boomy Unleashed. I realized also we never actually did a Boomy deck. Dang, we actually did miss quite a few characters in the when building decks. But don't worry, we will get around to Boomy at some point as well too. But in this case here, he's going to be part of the deck as a 5 mana, 5/4 human noble ally with trample. When Boomy enters, you earthbend 4. Anytime Boomy deals combat damage to a player, untap all lands you control, and after this phase, you can have an additional combat phase. However, only lands creatures can attack during the combat phase. So really cool ability here once you can actually get him going with his extra combat steps. Pretty cool though. I do like him. Hopefully I get to build around him eventually. And of course, the other final Aang in the deck is going to be Aang at the Crossroads here, a 5-mana 3/3 human avatar ally with flying. When this version of Aang enters, you can dig out the 5 cards in your library, put a creature card with a mana value of 4 or less from among them onto the battlefield for free. Put the others onto the bottom of your library in random order. Anytime another creature we control leaves the battlefield, you transform Aang into Aang Destined Savior, which becomes an avatar ally 4/4 with flying, and land creatures you control will have vigilance. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you will earthbend 2. Very powerful just with the ETB trigger on his own. So pretty cool by getting, of course, another card out on him on the moment he comes onto the battlefield. Going to the 6-drop slot, we have 2 more cards here. The Legend of Kyoshi, so the final avatar as a saga here. Also another cool one here because you can draw cards equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. So this can literally refill your hand, even if you play this at the top end of your curve. Part 2, you earthbend X, where X is the number of cards in your hand. And then that land becomes an island in addition to its other types. That's actually kind of neat. And then finally, flip it into Avatar Kyoshi here, becoming a legendary creature avatar 5/4. Lands you control have trample and hexproof. That's actually a really cool ability. Finally, you can tap her to add X amount of mana of one color, where X, of course, is the greatest power among creatures we control. So at very minimum, you're getting something that can tap for 5 mana. You can also get something that earthbends for 5, based on just Avatar Kyoshi herself. And then finally, to help out the rest of the gang here, we're going to throw in good old Iroh Grand Lotus. So this version of Iroh here is a human noble ally. We also have built a deck around just Iroh himself, but in this instance here, for those who've forgotten, he has Firebending 2, is a 5/5, and during your turn, each non-land lesson instant has instant and sorcerer card in your graveyard have flashback. And during your turn, each lesson card in your graveyard has flashback of 1. That can actually also be extremely broken depending on how you design your deck, but it actually is really cool if you can manage to get this to go off. Now, finally, because we are a budget deck and we're playing with only cards you can get from the Avatar set, our mana base is going to be a little janky, but it does work. Trust me, it will work. 7 plains, 5 islands, 2 swamps, 4 mountains, 6 forests. We'll throw in the thriving lands, so they all enter tapped, but you can pick whatever color you want for the secondary colors, so that can help us out with fixing. And finally, we'll throw in, of course, all the tap lands that you can get from the set itself. So North Pole Gates, Misty Palms Oasis, Serpent's Pass, Airship Engine Room, Boiling Rock Prison, Foggy Swamp Bottom, Omashu City, Sunblessed Peak, Kyoshi Village, and Meditation Pools, with finally White Lotus Hideout as our final card here to fix us for lesson cards and shrine spells for the color we need. But otherwise, that is the whole deck, everybody. Let's actually now get to the fun part, of course, of the stream. So let's take this into the Brawl format. Let's get as many matches as we can done, and let's see how well the deck can do. All right, so with that, and don't worry, once we get halfway through the stream, we will go over Avatar Aang if you want to upgrade him. But of course, that is going to be a very big investment if you really want to go all out with Aang. But trust me, if you are willing to afford it, it can get extremely powerful, at least in my testing that I've done of him. Okay, so let's get this going, everybody. Let's get our first game going here. But otherwise, while we're getting this going, let me know, everybody, how your weekend's been going so far. Y'all been playing the new set Lorwyn? Lorwyn comes out on Arena, I believe, Tuesday. So that's going to be amazing and fun for us. I'm definitely looking forward to that new set. But otherwise, looking back now that we're pretty much going to be wrapping up the majority of Avatar now, what were your overall thoughts on Avatar, everybody? Did you like the set overall? Did you like the theme? Are you not a fan of Universes Beyond sets? Let me know in the comments below, and I would love to hear from you. All right, so still waiting for an opponent to show up. So while we're doing that, get a little bit of water off to the side here. All right, everybody, let's do this. We're locking in.
That's rough, buddy.
Whoop. Not quite yet, though, Zuko. What was I trying to do there? There we go.
It's time.
There we go. Got the right sound effect going on there. All right. Kankuro. It felt like it came and went. Yeah, I will say it did feel like it came and went. I did love the Avatar set, but man, this year, man, we're going to be going breakneck speed for Magic sets. Because even as we're talking right now with Lorwyn, I'm sure some of you on social media who haven't seen it already, some people have gotten in their pre-release kits Ninja Turtle cards already. And that set's not supposed to spoil until like mid-February? Oh god, it's gonna be way too soon. I want to have some time to breathe here, Wizards. Slow down. Felt less sticky than Final Fantasy. Okay. Less sticky, you say. Interesting way to put it. Not that's a bad thing. Trust me, I did like the Final Fantasy set, but it felt like, realistically, I liked what the Final Fantasy set had, but the issue with that set was we had one broken card from it, and the rest of it was more like fun flavor, but none of them really made a major impact in any of the sets. It felt like it was just more like for the fans, and there's nothing wrong with that. But at least with Avatar, currently, in various sets I've played with it, in various formats, Avatar has definitely made an impact across Magic. So I will say for sure, if you're playing Standard, there is definitely a powerful Lessons deck there. Or even if we're playing Pioneer, I've been playing a Pioneer deck that's been helping me rank up, and trust me, Lesson cards are actually very strong. And they actually do pretty well with what was it called here? I'm trying to remember right now. They actually go well with the older Strixhaven cards. Opponent's playing Loot, and we're playing against Choco, now that I mentioned right now Avatar. So, looks like our opponent's going to get the ramp going. Okay, size makes sense. Get the Thriving Isle. Right, well, it's a land. Not a fast one, but, I mean, we need whatever we can grab right now. So let's see, what do we tap for here? Probably on white. Official Koya, so far the set gets some good cards. Wan Shi Tong and the Badger Mole Cub are going to be staples in their respective colors. Otherwise, I'm starting to get a little fatigued from the Universes Beyond sets, unfortunately. Yeah, I hear that. Trust me, at minimum, I did like Final Fantasy. I actually have said before that I actually have not really played the main games. I played some of the side games like Tactics and whatnot, but at least it had fun flavor. And at least also I will say, I am happy with Avatar. The set thankfully was great and very well done flavor-wise. But I will agree that we're getting to a point where I'm getting a little tired of these Universes Beyond sets. And unfortunately, this year coming up, they're not slowing down. So that is my biggest concern with how this is all turning out. Until then, let's get the Invasion Submersible going. So we are one card away, or at least one land away from getting Avatar Aang to go off. But until then, we need to slow down our opponent a ton here. So I think the best thing I can do is we'll need to bounce back one of their creatures to slow them down. So we'll probably bounce away Loot. I think that'll probably be our best shot here. I have actually I realize now I haven't had a chance to play with Wan Shi Tong that much. Very good card. I played with enough Badger Mole Cub in Standard to know it's also a little broken. But I don't know. I think that card might actually have some good synergies with the Lorwyn cards coming out soon. I'm so excited for that set. We're definitely going to be doing a lot of creature decks once we get to that point. But until then, okay, opponents, you there? Hello? Okay, I think our opponent heard us. So bounce away Loot. Only because we don't want him to activate just yet. Okay, bounce away. So that gives us a little time. Ideally, I would like at least one more card so I can Firebending Lesson away that Traveling Chocobo. Choco, Secret Paradise. Alright. Chocobos are coming. The birds are coming. Okay. It's getting stronger, but it can't swing yet, so we only take 3. That's not horrible. Down to 22. Come on, deck. I have 40. Great, there we go. Okay, okay. Nice. So we finally have at least the lands we need. All we just need to do now is figure out how we want to do this. So I think Katara comes in. So with this, ideally I would love our opponent to tap out. If they can tap out, Traveling Chocobo can then do its thing. Let's see how we want to do this. Okay, ideally if our opponent can tap, then I would use Firebending Lesson. But we'll see right now. What does our opponent do? Nothing yet. Okay. Opponent, what you got? Okay, more lands coming. So they're getting their pump going. Opponents. The Great Henge. Ugh. That's not a good card to see on your side of the field. Obviously, I love it when I use it, but right now, it's going to be really hard to fight up against that until we can get something to blow it up. Okay, come on, opponents. If they tap out with loot, then I can destroy the Traveling Chocobo before the swing. Okay, Garrick's Uprising. Max on RL15. Hello, hello, my fire friend. Good evening. How are you doing tonight? Hopefully you're having a wonderful night wherever you're at. And thanks again for joining us today. All right, opponents trying to start pumping up. They got Garrick's Uprising. Treasure map. Okay, so from here, now we can fire Bending Lesson away. So at least we can get the Traveling Chocobo off the field. Whew, okay. Crisis averted there. So for now, we only have to contend with Choco Seeker Paradise here. It won't get too much value, but that's okay. So here's what we want to do here. Okay, Thriving Bluff, that's good. We'll play on... What color do we want now? Technically, black would be nice for the future, but I don't know if we need black anytime soon. I think we probably should get... Alright. Probably on... Let's get blue. It's 5 a.m. in the morning for you? Wow. Well, good morning to you. Thanks again for joining us so early in the morning. Nice at the crack of dawn there. Okay, so how do we do this here? I think we'll get the Guru in. So that's 2 triggers off. That allows us to dig deep. So Legend of Kyoshi, nice. And we can dig again. Ooh, let's see. What do we want? Oh, Airbending Lesson. That'll be nice. We will... I guess we can activate that instant speed. So we'll wait it out for a bit here. We will wait it out. Thanks. You're welcome, by the way. If you don't mind me asking, if it's 5 a.m. for you, where are you located? I cannot fathom that right now. Okay. In the meantime, let's see. So opponents still won't play loot yet. Saz, alright. So opponent's definitely all in on Chocobos, which is kind of cute, though. Man, I really wish we had a nice little Chocobo pre-con deck. That actually would have been fun to have. But I suppose you could put one together yourself. If anybody's curious, though, we've also played Choco previously before in a stream a couple months ago when Final Fantasy came out. It's a cute deck, by the way. One of my more popular streams if you haven't checked it out. It's actually a really fun deck. Okay, so let's see here. Opponent has Bartz and Boko, which is also not good to see. Kankuro. Oh no, the Chocobo landfall. Yes, it's coming. It's coming. So let's see. They're going to hit us here, so that means Katara's probably going to go bye-bye. A shame, though. I was really tempting. I was hoping we are going to get Aang at the crossroads to get double triggers to go off. But she's not going to survive this hit. No, Katara. No. Opponent's looking, though. I'm pretty sure Katara has to be the hit. You wouldn't want to go after the Guru. I mean, it'll get bigger. But... Okay. Opponents. Opponent's thinking hard about this. It's honestly not that hard, opponent. You really just want to get rid of Katara. Not that I'm encouraging you to do. But that is the most logical play here. Okay, clock's ticking, opponents. Wait. What? Opponents? You gave up? I mean, yay. But, okay, well, maybe they had to go. Okay. I guess I'll take it. Sure, why not? Free win. Okay, yeah, we got them with the GGs. Maybe they were just intimidated by our Avatar deck. Okay. I mean, it happens. Sometimes I'm sure all of you have played a match and then you're just like, wait, your opponent just scooped immediately. Maybe they had something to do. I don't know. Maybe dinner was ready or breakfast. I don't know. I can't figure out what our opponents do. Either way, a win is a win, and I will take it. So I guess we'll set up now for the next game. But hopefully the next game or two, we can hopefully get Avatar Aang to go off. I want him to go off so you guys can see how extremely powerful he actually is. Really cool card, by the way. And for anybody that's out there, let me know. And I actually do want to ask any of you. So have any of you out there cracked any packs of Avatar since the set came out? And if so, what have you gotten? What has been your best cards you have gained from any of the packs you have opened? Let me know, and I would love to hear from you guys. all the packs I've opened currently right now, if you're curious, have been uploaded onto YouTube there. So check out those shorts if you're curious to see what we have opened over time. But the next booster pack openings will be once we get to Lorwyn. So I'm also looking forward to opening packs of Lorwyn. So hopefully we'll get some good stuff from there. All right, opponent is going to be loading up now. All right, lock in time.
It's time to
yeah. All right. Let's see, our opponent is playing. Ooh, they're playing Saheeli. So that's cool. So this is the pre-con Saheeli that does energy. Okay, looks like it's going to be Teamer Energy. I have not played against it, so I don't know how good it is. But I guess we'll find out soon enough. Okay, so in the meantime, player Forest. Crystal Costa, 9033. Hi, good evening. Hello, my fire friend. How are you doing today? Hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you're at. Okay, so let's see how we want to do this. We'll play the Thriving Bluff, and I think we'll play on white. So now we have a Boros land, so help us get us going there. Recoil, I've only opened 2 collector boosters, and the best card I got was Fire Lord Azula. Oh, you got Azula? Wow, she's a scary card. I mean, we've only played with her a little bit on stream for a bit. She is good, though. Very good card. Play kindly, customer. For those who don't remember, this is good old Jin. So the gal that was trying to hit up Zuko when he was also in the Earth Kingdom. Hopefully things went well with her. I think we see her again in the comics. I think she makes an appearance at some point. So if someone can quote me on that or correct me if I'm wrong. All right. Is it Genitorium? Okay. Opponent is trying to prep stuff here. We're close to getting ready with Aang here, so we just need at least one more land. And we can get Avatar Aang to go off, so that'll be cool when it does. For now, though, let's play Leaves on the Vine. Do some milling. Make a food. Swing with Jin. And we'll pass here. Crystal Casa, I just got here. Do you remember me? I do actually remember. You were here, what was the last stream? Was it like, were you here last week or was it a couple days ago beyond that? Sorry, it's been a long couple of days because I realize I've only streamed once this week, so my brain right now is a little forgetful. Apologies on that. But I do know you were here just recently. Ooh, hold on one second here. We pump up here. Origin the metal bending. So opponent is not going to get any value off of that. Too bad.
That's rough, buddy.
So they do lose the Aetherworks Marvel, which is a key piece to their game plan. But we got that out of the way. So crisis averted. Conqueror. Zuko Earth Kingdom arc was a nice breath of fresh air. Yes, it was, by the way. Yes, it was. Man, Zuko definitely went through a lot in that era. Now, I do love this show. I probably should rewatch it again at some point. Or at least I hope to. Alright. Okay, Earth Kingdom Protectors. So we'll get an island out of that. Well, we can't get Avatar Aang to go off. We'll get Aang at the crossroads. So hopefully, let's get some value. Come on, Aang. What? Wow. We did not hit anything. Wow, that was a bust. That's awkward. But okay, no attacks yet. So at the very least... Let's see. If we swing here and we lose... Oh, Harness Lightning. Okay, so it looks like our opponent will get rid of this Aang. Dang. Maybe I should have actually swung. Okay, well, one Aang down. That's a shame, by the way. I'm going to bring in Saheeli. Okay. They start making their tokens. Making their artifact creatures. Can we get around this game plan? Once we untap, we should be fine. Although we still need at least either a red or white source. And then actual Avatar Aang can come in. Opponent is going to start trying to make things work here with extra artifacts. Okay, the drawing cards. They lose their thing there. Okay, we got a Moshu City, so this will be great once we got this untapped. Until then, however, we're going to play Earth Kingdom Protectors. And we will not swing here and pass. So, next turn, we have Avatar Aang ready to go. This should be good. So I hope it's good. Okay, Meteor Golem. Oh, wow. Okay, opponent. I thought they would have saved that for Aang. Okay. So probably going to blow up the Earth Kingdom Protectors just to make sure we don't have any way of protecting ourselves here. It's a shame. So, unfortunately, though, Kindly Customer here is not an ally. That's actually awkward. Very awkward. But okay. Dang. And there goes our protection. But it's fine. So our opponent here will make... What's it? Can they make another Meteor Golem? Ugh. That's a scary ability. So we lose our other creature. Toots. Opponent does big swing here. In the meantime, I guess we'll eat our food. Oh, nom nom nom. Alright, gain a little life back to sponge the hit. We're at 17 now. Okay, so Saheeli has to go. Otherwise, we're going to keep losing here more value. So I'm trying to think right now, what's the best way to do this? Well, Avatar Aang coming in. And then from here... Okay, so here's how we do this. Okay. We will pass here. Before they get to combat, Wormcoil Engine. Heartless Act. Saheeli goes bye-bye. Nice. Okay. So at least now they cannot bring Saheeli back for at least for a turn. So that gives us a little bit of time. Oh yeah, you missed the... Yeah, the Meteor Golems blinking back and forth with Saheeli here was a little dirty. But it's okay. It's okay. We can still get around this game plan. So for now, Bastion of Remembrance. Make a soldier token. Alright. We swing here. Firebend 2. That helps us draw a card. Nice. We will play Combustion Technique. And then from here... Let's see. Meteor Golem goes bye-bye. Forever. And we can get here down to 18. So we're not down yet. If our opponent here tries to do anything else, we will see if we can try to at least survive a little bit more. Okay, so Saheeli coming back. Okay. Combat, so they can pay 3. Ugh. This is not good. So, here's what's going to happen here. So they're going to make another Wormcoil Engine, which is also something you don't want to see. But they're swinging. So this is going to be back in their favor. Okay. Out of desperation, we sacrifice 1 land to draw a card. Okay, Seismic Sense. We'll block here. The big Wormcoil Engine. Yeep! Okay. Drain them for 1 there. So we're not down, but we're going to try to see if we can get around this. Come on, deck. Show me some love. Tempest Harvest, alright. More energy. Okay, Wormcoil Engine dies there, and then they make... Jeez, they're making more stuff here. Okay. Size makes sense. Digging 2nd cards deep. Okay, so what can we get? Is there anything here that's going to help us out? It feels like... I don't know. I don't know if there's anything here we can really use. Whenever ally we control enters Earthbend 1. Toph can help us Earthbend a bit. I don't know. Just feels like we don't really have much of an option here. I mean, I could swing, but at this point I think we're dead. So we'll still draw another card. And we'll hit here. No real value there because we can't save the mana. Enderman comes in, but unfortunately that means we will lose this turn. So we'll just concede now. Dang. It's okay, everybody. No big deal. We're going to just shake it off and we'll try again. No big deal. It's okay. Alright, so in the meantime here, we'll just go into our next game here. No problem. I know it looks a little goofy, but trust me, Aang does have what it takes to actually get you some wins, even on a budget. Okay, let's see. Waiting here. Come on, opponents. Itching for some games here. So, for those of you that do frequent and are anticipating the next set with Lorwyn, what are your thoughts on the next set for Lorwyn? Let me know, everybody. What are you actually hoping to build around? We definitely already have an idea for our next live stream once we get to the set properly in a couple days. We're definitely going to have a hilariously fun deck that for you guys. Trust me, you'll like what it's going to be. I don't want to tell you right now, but it's going to be a good one. And then let's see. If you haven't already done so, everybody, also on my posts, if you haven't voted, please sure to take a time to vote for what format you want our actual deck tech to be based upon. So this won't be the live stream one. This will be the first YouTube focused deck tech. So whichever format you want to see me build for, Brawl, Pioneer, Standard, let me know, everybody. Let me know. I'll be happy to build around what you guys want to see the most. All right, so we're playing against Tenuk here. Oh, actually, we made a deck around him too as well. He's a good one as well. All right, so until then, Omashu City. We have Aang's Journey, which is nice because this can help us fix our mana. We have Boomy coming in as well. Cave of Two Lovers. Play for now a Forest. Aang's Journey. So we're going to dig out... What do we want here? Since technically we have already white there, we'll get the Plains. Get some life. Conqueror, what about that Avatar wall that summons rocks and deals 2 damage? Oh, you're right. I forgot about that card. I think I have an idea maybe I can do with that card when we get to... Because there's actually a hilariously fun idea I had using Rakdos. There's another card that actually does the rock throwing from Lord of the Rings. I'll talk about that maybe at the end of the stream. But there's a hilariously janky thing that I want to do with those cards. But as soon as I can here, let's see if we can do this. Okay. Well, Airbend. No real value, but I wanted the card down. So let's see. How do we do this here? Cave of Two Lovers can come in. Badgerable Cub. Okay, that's fine. Fisher Coil. I've seen spoilers in OMG. The Power Creep City. Hexing Squelcher is going to be one of my favorite cards of 2026 because I hate blue. Well, have I got a hilarious comment for you there. So, I'm also not a fan of mono blue. We've played mono blue a lot of times. But realistically, I love my goblins. So I'm looking forward to playing goblins once we get to the set. I'm so jazzed for that, though. We're definitely going to be jamming a handful of goblin decks over the next couple weeks. But yes, Hexing Squelcher, definitely my hyped card that I have. Some people say maybe I'm over hyping the card, but I think it's going to be a good one. At least I believe so. All right, so we came here for a reason, everybody. So we are going to be playing Avatar Aang. All right, Aang. Here we go. Can we get him to finally go off? At least I hope so. Okay, so we have quite a few different opponents. Come on. No. I just want Aang to do fun things. Our opponent is being a spoil sport. Okay, it's fine. If they swing, we'll just block with Aang. Nope. Okay. Meditation pool. So how do we do this now? Well, I guess we'll play Boomy. Nothing else, he's a big thing. So from here, we can... Meditation pool. Quest counter. No attacks yet. If the very least, if we can get Airbender Ascension to go off, that actually can reset Aang. So maybe that's our way to get out of this mess. Conqueror. Also, Hexing Sculpture seems like a power creep Vexing Shusher. Oh, that's right. I have Vexing Shusher in one of my actual paper commander decks. Maybe Hexing Sculpture will be his next BFF. Kind of a shame, though. I want Hexing Sculpture to enter into Arena, but maybe we don't need it that much anymore because of now that card. But yeah, I did make a quick little video on that one. And honestly, I think Squelcher might be arguably better than the... What's the card? The Spider-Punk card? Spider-Punk does have some advantages that I did mention in that little short. On the other hand, Hexing Squelcher is a goblin, and that's a better relevant creature type. So I'm not sure. I'm still not sure about what I would prefer. But until then, let's see here. Let's get... Cave of Two Lovers. There we go. Get 2 more triggers off. Let's see. We will, let's see. Swing here. Boomy getting the first hits in. There we go. Nice. And his ability actually goes off. So that means I could swing again with Meditation Pool. All right. Deck's doing stuff finally. And we'll also play Toph too. Got to get Toph in. The gang is coming together. So Avatar Aang here. All right. The aura's off, which is great. Okay, now Aang's back online, everybody. Nice. Wow, who would have thought Airbender Ascension actually saved us? Okay, Elemental Teachings. Okay. Opponent is digging. Vexing is the ultimate anti-blue card. You can use that mana to respond to counterspells on the stack anytime. It's not limited to phase. That is true, though. Oh, man, I definitely want to play with that card. I actually definitely got to get a copy for one of my decks. Let's see. Okay, so with this card, we have to be careful as to how we want to give our opponent lands. So, okay. An opponent chooses 2 of those lands. Put the chosen cards into your graveyard. So we throw away whichever 2 we pick. They lose. Alright. Honestly, get rid of Vendo. Get rid of Lotus Field. Those go away. Get the other 2. Not that it hurts us that much. That's not too bad. They ping us for 2. They draw a card. You got 3? Nice. That's awesome. But yes, I will definitely... We're going to be rocking definitely Hexing Squelcher. And Vexing Shusher. Classic card. Really good one, by the way. Okay, so let's see here. Opponents. Still going off with landfall shenanigans. Annoying, but that's fine. Down to 15. They're still at 19 though. Okay, summon Fenrir. They get another land. Joy. Okay, opponents. More pinging. Are we done? Is that it? Are we good? Okay. Okay, so we will dig out a mountain. Put it on into our hand. Play that mountain. So let's see here. I think... how do we want to do this here? I think with Aang, we swing. Boomy, we swing. And swing with the 2 creature lands. Firebending 2. Draw another card. Nice. Opponent, what do you got? Okay, we will sacrifice the Boiling Rock Prison for a specific reason. Draw another card. There we go. Down to 5. And our lands untap again. We swing with them again. You have to block now, opponent, or you will lose. Fenrir is down. Comes back. We will play Compassionate Healer. Quest counter. We Earthbend, and we will get to... How do we want to do this here? Oh, wait, no. Turn it to 1 creature we control. So, let's see. What do we want? I guess Aang can get reset. Do the Earthbending. Draw another card. Nice. Okay. We're in good shape now. So we finally got to see Aang actually doing some cool things here. When he goes off, even on a budget here, he's actually hilariously fun. Okay, so opponent, you basically have 1 turn, I believe, to stop us. Once we can untap, Iroh's Demonstration can get rid of Dryad, Tenuk, whatever we need to. And then hopefully that should lock us into a game mat. That should be a game ending for our opponent. Alright, we're doing some web slinging. Oh, I'm sorry, that's end web. It's not web slinging because that's not what's in Arena. Okay. Lots of lands. We're trying to close the gap here. But we still have plenty of blockers, so that's not what I'm worried about. Project, down to 9. They're up to 10. Okay. Technically, it's still anyone's game. Elvish Mystic. Okay. They draw another card. Are you done, opponents? Okay. Curiosity. They make a lander token, so that means they sacrifice it. Okay, finally. Opponent is tapped out. Down to 8. They're at 13. Are we done, opponents? Real possibility. Okay. Still going. Okay. Nothing else. They're at a standstill. Okay. So this is our turn. We have to make something work here. So in order for this to work, mountain. So we draw another card. Founding of a Moshu. That's cool too. So with this, we will play. Let's see. What do we want now? Play a mountain. So we got to get rid of their stuff here. If we can do that, then we can get to the victory. So 4 damage to... What do we want? Out of the way here. Tinook goes bye-bye. Nice. We can also airbending to get something out of the way. And that should be game ending for our opponent there. So with that... Big swing time. Okay. Tap. Firebending 2. We then... airbend away as well. Bounce. Draw a card. Thanks to Aang's ability, we also draw another card from bending. There we go. So many cards to draw. All right. Oh, if only we got the water bending there, we could have actually gotten the trifecta. But that's okay. That's okay. At this point, I think we pretty much have got it. We got it won. Go ahead and block Boomy, opponent. It don't matter because the Avatar has succeeded and got his first legitimate win for tonight, everybody. There you go. Nice. Very, very nice. Yeah. Woo! Awesome. There you go, everybody. We got to see Aang at least go off just once tonight. Just once, at least you got to see Aang legitimately go off. But as we reach now the halfway point of the stream, what if we take the time to upgrade Aang and make him even stronger? Now, if you actually really want to, though, if you're willing to spend a little bit more on Aang here, he's pretty good as is. But if you actually want to really go all out with him, this deck is for you. And this deck is going to get absolutely bananas. So, I'll lay this out for you real quick. Yeah, despite the fact that our opponent was just going off with Landfall, it wasn't enough. Because one of the things I realized with when I played Tinook, when I played him a couple months ago, Tinook's a cool card, but you have to keep the Landfall triggers going, because otherwise he doesn't really do anything on his own, except just ping. And in our instance, we were able to overwhelm our opponent by going bigger and wider than we're. So that was great for us. That was a good outing for us. Okay, so here we go. This, what you see on screen right now, is the upgraded version of the deck itself. So if you actually really want to go all out, Avatar Aang upgraded here gets really, really bonkers. So for this version here, we're really going to start going in on tutors, because one of the things that gets a little tricky with Aang is we sometimes need specific cards to come out at specific times. Jasper saying hi. Hello, my fire friend. Good evening. How are you doing today? Hopefully having a wonderful day wherever you're at. So anyways, you're catching us right now as just we're about to do the upgrades to the deck itself. So give me 1 second here, everybody, while I kind of try to gather some stuff up here, because I'm trying to like explain a couple things. So with Aang here, in this version, we're looking at primarily just, again, going into just kind of filtering out and getting specific things. So going beyond the Avatar set, we're going to start using tutors here. So that's actually one of our major upgrades for the deck itself. For this one here, we're going to start with Enlightened Tutor. This allows you to dig out any artifact or enchantment card. So this will be great for us to fix very specific cards for the deck itself. We'll also be upgrading by utilizing Orange Chant here. So this one prevents your opponent from casting spells for a turn. So this can lock them out while you do your thing. If you kick it, however, that means your opponent can't even attack for a turn. This is great for us in specific instances where you just need to slow down your opponent and buy yourself time. We'll also utilize here Redirect Lightning. So cool Zugo card here, and I love the art, by the way. This can help you, of course, just redirect a spell away from you and maybe redirect it to something else just to make sure that you do not get completely destroyed. So think of this as kind of like a protection spell, if you will. So with this, also we'll also throw in Earth and Ally here. So this creature will get +1/+0 extra power boost for each color among allies we control. And although it's very expensive, you can also Earthbend 5 with him if you have Wooburg and then 2 extra mana. Well, I mean, 7 mana is asking a lot, but I mean, you can make it work. Other upgrades for the deck, we're going to throw in Whirly Tutor here. So this is from the bonus sheet that had alternate art. I actually love the art, by the way. So Uncle Iroh on here, Whirly Tutor, allowing us to dig out for 1 mana any creature card we need and put it into our hand. Or actually, I put it on the top of our library. So either way, you can still draw into it, which is actually really cool for us. What's nice also is its instant speed. So say like maybe you swing with Avatar Aang. He triggers Firebending. which means he draws a card, but while that triggers on the stack, immediately cast Worldly Tutor, put the creature you need on top of your library, and then with Aang, then he could draw right into that and put it into your hand. So that's a kind of a cool trick you can do with that. Now, as far as other upgrades to the deck here, so we're going to throw in now South Pole Voyager here. So the South Pole Voyager here is a human scout ally. Anytime another ally we control enters, gain 1 life. If we can do this a second time, we could draw a card. So this will help us keep churning through our deck. We're going to get much more stronger versions of our friends here. So we're going to throw in Katara, Waterbending Master. So human warrior ally here. Anytime we cast a spell during our opponent's turn, she gets an experience counter. Anytime Katara then attacks, we could draw cards equal to the number of experience counters on her, and we could discard only 1 card. So this can get really ridiculous if you actually start pumping her up. I think this card actually goes for what, like $40 if you actually buy a single copy? That's ridiculous, by the way. But seriously, very powerful card for us for the deck. We'll throw in Waterbender Ascension now, so now we have a new Ascension. Whenever a creature we control deals combat damage to a player, put a quest counter on the enchantment. If it has 4 or more, we can start drawing cards. It also has Waterbend for 4, meaning target creature can't be blocked for a turn. So if you can time this right with Aang, he can Firebend, that's 2 mana, and then with the Waterbending ability of Waterbender's Ascension, then we can make sure he's unblockable no matter what, getting in damage. So that is kind of neat how they can do that. Oh yes, it is cool, and I do like how this deck now can really get strong, but you'll see how much more crazier it gets. For black here, we'll throw in Obsessive Pursuit. So this is a 2-mana enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, you'll lose 1 life, and you create a clue token, which you could sacrifice to draw more cards. And anytime you attack, put X amount of +1/+1 counters on an attacking creature, where X is the number of permanents you've sacrificed this turn. If the X is 3 or greater, the creature will gain lifelink until end of turn. So in some instances, if you can sacrifice just enough stuff, like clue tokens or anything else, Obsessive Pursuit can be a nice catch-up spell if you just time it right, although it is a little tricky to use, so be aware of that. Thankfully, because we're now going all out with the budget, we can definitely afford now Badger Mole Cub, so that's going to be another awesome card for us to get more mana out of our game plan. We'll do now stronger types of fetch and digging out abilities here. So we have cards like from Final Fantasy, Newfound Adventures, /Farseek to dig out your island, plains, swamps, or mountains, and puts them immediately onto the battlefield. We have Great Divide Guide here, giving, of course, wait, I forgot. I'm silly. This already was in the this is already in the budget deck, but still good for us for fixing purposes. But since we're going beyond Avatar now, we could throw in Rampant Growth for digging out along with Shared Roots. Other upgrades, we'll throw in Arcane Signet now to help us fix better for our lands. Swiftfoot Boots will be added in for protecting our creature by giving it Hexproof and Haste. We can afford Wan Shi Tong here, Librarian, to help us again just draw some cards. Anytime an opponent searches their library, we can also put a +1/+1 counter on Wan Shi Tong and draw another card. Jasper asking, how is my day going? It's going great, by the way. Although right now at this point, I would say my evening, because now it's, what time is it right now? It's 9:09 in the evening where I'm at. What time is it where you are at, Jasper, if you don't mind me asking? But yeah, evening here. I'm starting to lose a little energy, but we have enough to at least pump through the rest of the stream. But thanks again for asking. I appreciate that. Where were we? Okay, so the other upgrades to the deck. We'll throw in Aang's Iceberg here. So this is another way we can just exile another non-land permanent until it leaves the battlefield. Gives us another option for water bending. So you can sacrifice it if you need to, then scry 2. I'm not sure I really want to sacrifice this if I need to lock down a certain non-land permanent. But I guess if you need to water bend in a pinch, maybe to transform Aang, I guess it's good. Maybe. Either way, we just want this for spot removal. We can throw in also now Ally Teamwork. So this is another one of our enchantments that pumps up our team, giving it all +1/+1 pumps. We'll throw in now Caretaker's Talent because we have a lot of tokens that we make. So this can help us just churn through our deck and draw more cards. We can use the level 2 ability to create a copy of a token. And then finally, creature tokens get +2/+2. We'll also upgrade now Force of Negation. So this is a very, very powerful counter spell if you can afford it. And of course, this will help us, of course, just exile or counter a spell for free if we're willing to pay the cost of sacrificing a blue card. For other upgrades to the deck, we'll throw in now Earthbender Ascension. So this will help us, of course, Earthbend 2, dig out a basic land, put it onto the battlefield, and it has Landfall. Anytime a land we control enters, put a quest counter on it. If we can complete the quest of 4 more counters, we can start putting +1/+1 counters on a creature we control, giving it Trample until end of turn. We're actually going to pull in one card that I actually didn't put in from the budget deck, but I guess you could put it in the budget deck. We're going to throw in Sokka, Lateral Strategist here. So this version of Sokka is not the expensive version, but at least when he attacks and one other creature attacks, we could draw a card. So this helps us again with card draw shenanigans here. Jasper, my nose is runny right now. Oh no, well hopefully you're not getting sick or anything. Is it just like a small little runny nose right now? And it's 11:10 where you are? Ooh. Getting kind of late where you're at. So I'm guessing you're in the central area of the US, maybe, or Canada. if I was to assume. Where was I at here? Okay. Also adding on here, we'll throw in Iroh Tea-Master here. So this is another upgraded version of Iroh. So for this human citizen ally version of Iroh here of Boros colors, when he enters, you make a food token. At the beginning of combat, you can have